Good morning, family. I hope you're all doing great. It's been a while since I uploaded a video, but I had a catch up session with you guys last week, and thank you all who joined me on that live session. It was quite educative and interactive as well. I hope to do more live sessions in the future where we will be choosing a topic to discuss. For instance, we could discuss building, cost of building, how to buy land in the village, and stuff like that. So don't miss out on those live sessions. We're waking up to a beautiful morning here in the countryside, and I just made my morning coffee. I always like to have something hot in my tummy early in the morning. It's kind of a jump start for me. For those who are new here, my name is Jailo Chanji. 8 years ago, I made the decision to quit the rat race and move to the countryside for a more quiet life. My hectic mornings trying to get through the crazy Nairobi traffic have been replaced by quiet mornings in the garden or in the yard sipping coffee. Living in the countryside has made me realize just how much beauty there is around me. I stop, listen, and appreciate all the nature that come with living in the countryside. I'm now enjoying the things that the fast life didn't allow me to. For the many years I was in the city, I never stopped to look, listen, and appreciate the nature that was around me. Maybe I was too busy or always in a rush that I didn't notice there was so much beauty everywhere. I have realized a lot of changes ever since I slowed down. The honest truth is I haven't been to hospital in all these years I've been in the countryside. I thank God for life and good health, but I also think it has a lot to do with the quality of life I live here in the countryside. My diet here consists of mainly natural organic foods, and it's only on things like oil or sugar that we use processed foods. I'm still on the journey to self-sufficiency. At the moment, I enjoy growing my own food, keeping animals for meat, eggs, and milk. But with time, I know we will completely rely on our land for all our foods. And we might just eliminate all the processed foods. Have you ever thought of space as luxury? Yes, we enjoy the luxury of space here. Our village lands are freehold and we have large chunks of land, so our children don't lack spaces to play. And we also get free space for all our activities, which was not available in the cities, or if you got it, you had to pay for it. My hobby has shifted from clubbing to gardening, which I find really therapeutic and fulfilling. And my bank account appreciates that too, because I'm spending less as I make my own food, and my entertainment bills are growing lower by day. We don't pay rent here in the countryside, so you can imagine how low our bills are. The question I get asked most is how we make money here in the village. There's a research that was conducted a few months ago. I think I shared it with you guys on my community tab, where they said the village people are the current millionaires. And I think it's because we make a lot of money and we spend less because most of our things are free, our food, the shelter, and we don't pay for things like water, sanitation, electricity, especially for those that use the solar power. So other than what you see me doing here, I am a commercial farmer of sweet potatoes and maize and beans. I also run a little company from here, and I also earn my money from YouTube. Most of my earnings go to my current project. I'm building a new home and for my children's school fees. So there are no limitations to how you can make your money in the village. There is a mass migration from the urban centers to the village, and many people are relocating and building in the village. So you can invest in just about anything. You can invest in the cities. Even the real estate industry is doing very well in the village, with devolution of power and a lot of offices being opened up in the villages. I grow vegetables for subsistence purposes, and throughout the year I have some fresh vegetables to harvest and eat. One of the challenges I encountered when I moved to the village was finding my favorite vegetables, since the village people grow just particular vegetables, things they love to eat, but things like carrots, cucumbers are just so hard to come by. Even when you go to the market on market days, you won't find things like carrots. So I always thought that these things maybe don't do well in our soils, and that's the reason I told you guys I love to experiment with every vegetables, every seed I get, and I realize these things can actually grow. So I've introduced a lot of vegetables in this garden, and the result has been amazing. Today I'm harvesting carrots. I always like to harvest just what I need for a particular meal, but unfortunately today I have to harvest everything because I planted pumpkins just next to my carrots, and the pumpkins are taking over the garden. They are creeping onto the carrot patch and just covering them, so some of them are rotting. The reason I have to take everything out today. Do you love harvesting? I really love harvesting, and I love harvesting carrots. I just love that popping sound when you pull it out of the soil. This is such a beautiful harvest. I actually didn't expect this, and unfortunately there are some pests eating my carrots. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a pest. Also looks like some root is forming. I don't know what's happening, but I'm so happy with the harvest. Actually, the basket I carried is overflowing. It's the first time I'm planting cabbage on this garden, and you can see how amazing they look. As I experiment with different vegetables, I'm just getting new ideas of things to plant and how to expand on my commercial farming. Maybe next season I will go for an acre of cabbages or carrots or onions or just any kind of vegetables, because they are needed here but nobody grows them. So we import them from the neighboring counties. Some come from as far as Nairobi County, Kiambu County, which is very far from here. So let me grab some coriander for today's recipe. I will also need some green onions for my recipe today. This is really an amazing harvest. I didn't expect this much. The reason I carried just a little basket, but look what I got. And some of them are really big. So now that I've harvested everything, I am going to look for a way to preserve them. I learned somewhere online that when you want your carrots to last long, you don't clean them. So we had some rain yesterday and they're really muddy, so I'm just gonna air them under a shade so that I'll be able to scrap off the soil. The soil comes off easily when it is dry, so that's what we're gonna do before we store them. I will appreciate if you shared with me how you preserve your carrots. I have always cleaned and stored them in the fridge, but they lose the water so fast and become soft. So I opted for a different way to store them this time. I'm going to cut out all the leaves. They're so bulky, and then I don't think we need them. Here we don't eat the carrot leaves. Somebody told me they are also vegetables, but I'm sorry, we don't eat them here. So I'm just gonna add them to our compost once I'm done. When I was harvesting, I showed you a few pieces that had some defects on them. I think it was caused by very dry soils. We didn't have rain for quite some time, and I always see that happening to our sweet potatoes when we have prolonged droughts. So I'll keep those ones aside because they usually rot very fast, and that's what I'm going to use for today's recipe, so I don't mix them with the good ones. We agreed I was not going to make any more efforts towards losing weight, but I'm going to keep eating healthy, and if that weight loss wants to come, let it come. On our menu today is a number of vegetables that we are going to use to make a vegetable pizza. My pizza won't have cheese though, but it is something amazing, something you wanna try. So just follow, and after cooking, then we shall head out to the farm and see what's been happening there. I've been away. So we have coriander, we have onions, I have a cayenne pepper, I have a cabbage, and then that shredded carrot and green onions. So it's the weeding season. I think I did a video when I was planting my farms with beans and maize, and I've been away for about 2 weeks and the weeding is on. So once we are done making our breakfast, then we are going to head over to the farms just to see what's going on, how the work is being done. A while back I shared with you how hard it is to be a telephone farmer. If you want to be a good farmer, you have to be present. I made a few mistakes some time back, mistakes I don't want to repeat. So if you want to be a real farmer, then you have to be present. Sometimes the people we hire to do these things for us are not very good people, so they really don't care if you are going to get a good harvest from your farm or not. And this is your investment. You want to get something out of it, so your presence is key. The recipe is quite simple. With all those vegetables mixed up in a bowl, then you add eggs to them. The number of eggs will depend on you. I added 4 to mine. I did not measure anything, so I cannot be giving you those specifications. And then you're going to fry it under very low heat. So you'll cover and allow it to cook. Then you flip the other side, and this is what we have. You should be here to smell it. It smells so good. So this is quite simple to make, and it's quite healthy because it is like 80% vegetables. So this is what we've got. Let me know what you think about our pizza and if you'd want to try it. It has a lot of cabbage, and cabbage is so filling, so I know I'm set for today. So let's enjoy and head out. So it's now time to go and check out the farms. After being away for so long, being a farmer is not so easy, especially when you're a commercial farmer. There's always just so much work to be done, work you cannot do on your own, yet you rely on people that you don't trust sometimes. Sometimes they do very shoddy work, especially when you're not around to supervise them. I don't know how you handle such situations, but I usually pay half of the amount I'm supposed to pay them. And once I confirm that the work is well done, then I pay the rest. I learned the hard way after spending a double amount because of some shoddy work. So these days, I don't mess around. We have the best climate here. It rains and the sun always shines. So that is what the plants need most, a bit of sunshine and a bit of rain. So my maize plantation is looking really good. All I have to do now is uproot a few things, a few weeds that are growing between the maize. I also do a random check on pests, like this particular maize here has been affected by some pest. We don't usually spray any pesticide when we see this. All we do is uproot that particular plant so the pest doesn't spread to the other crops. Fortunately, there are not so many of them. And this time I intercropped maize and beans. I guess you can see the bean plants, they are even flowering already. So what we do when planting, in that same hole where we drop the maize seeds, we also drop the bean seeds so they grow together. But the beans get ready before the maize, so we pull out the beans and leave the maize to grow to maturity. Do you practice intercropping? Let me know how you do yours. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and always I'll see you in the next. Bye bye.